Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit. I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is Super House of Dead Ninjas. Because, you know, the regular House of Dead Ninjas is clearly not up to my exacting standards of ninja-ness. It just didn't have enough ninja. It was about maybe 47% ninja, which is nowhere near the maximum critical potential mass of ninja. So, thankfully, that has been answered in Super House of Dead Ninjas. This was originally a Flash game. It's made by Megadev, published by Adult Swim, who, surprisingly enough, actually publishing some not half terrible games these days. Yeah, that's about as backhand a compliment as I could possibly give him. What can I say? It's my ninja compliment. Comes out of the shadows unseen and then slaps you around the face and said, "Yeah, I liked it, but you suck." There you go. So, those of you who may have played the original Flash game, and if you haven't, well, you might as well just go try it, because, you know, it's free, it's easy enough to find, may notice that this has got new stuff. You can play in full screen, for instance. You have a bunch of new custom rooms. Now, the whole point of the game is that you go down this giant tower. You can see it over to the right there, that huge-ass tower. You start kind of near the top, and then you go down, occasionally fight bosses and go to different areas and so on and so forth. And you do so with a bunch of different weapons. There are a lot of new weapons in this version, including a flamethrower and a baseball bat, apparently. There's also a map editor, as well as a brand new tower by the name of Transdimensional Leakage. Leaderboards, you can customize, stuff like that. It's a bigger, hopefully, better game than what we've seen from the original House of Dead Ninjas. But the question is, how does it play, more to the point? Well, let's have a look at the options menu. As you can see, this is very much a 16-bit game. Definitely. It is done in the 16-bit style, and yes, I know some of you are going, "Oh god, not again." Well, this is one of these times where I'm not going to hate it, and I'll tell you why in a minute. You can redefine the keys. Annoyingly enough, it's like, oh, you want to use a joypad? Well, download JoyToKey, Google it, right? So it doesn't have any native support for joypads, which kind of sucks, because I would have loved to have just played this on a joypad. I think it would have played better on a joypad, but, you know, it's fine. I'll deal with what I've got here. I love that fat little purple ninja down the bottom there. That's absolutely wonderful. It also has a comic, by the way, which gives you the storyline of the whole thing, which is really kind of cool. Have a look at that, as you can see. It's quite nicely drawn. We're not really concerned about the storyline too much. We're more concerned about the gameplay, so let's give it a bash, shall we? Into the Tower of Infinium. Alright, what have I got? Well, as you can see, I've played the game a little bit, so I have a few options here and there. This is fully mouse controlled, by the way, so don't worry about having to key around everywhere. There's also a bunch of upgrades available. Plus 10 projectile upgrade. I assume, is that something I already unlocked? I guess I have. So as you can see, these all have different requirements. Chaos mode. Randomizes your equipment every time you enter the tower. That sounds like fun, especially once you go on a lot of unlocks. Got an other here. I think this is just a bunch of different suits by the looks of it. This is some kind of item. There we go. It's a slightly pinkier suit. There's a lemon... Wow, that's a reference and a half. That's going back a while. Kill 7,000 enemies and you get the lemon demon suit. Good lord. Minty fresh death suit. Ruby red deathbringer suit. Grandad's wartime thermal, so on and so forth. A lot of unlockable stuff here and there. Weapons-wise, I currently have my standard katana as well as nunchucks. And I have the ruby nunchucks of mild discomfort. So I can deflect projectiles with this thing. That might be nice. Shuriken of the Headless Brotherhood. This upgrade makes the Shuriken always behead enemies. Very nice. Very cool. Alright, I'm going to pick that, and I'm going to pick these. I'm going to give them a try. That sounds reasonable, and there's my upgrades. I've got 10 more projectiles, so that's always good. Alright, let's play. So what have we got? There are 2 difficulty modes, and what we can do here, as you can see, is we can enter the tower at various points. The Abyss of Nature is how far I've got in this tower here. That's floor 250. That is Transdimensional Leakage. That is the different tower, and then, of course, there's the custom levels that you can grab. So let's start here, make things a little bit interesting, shall we? Alright, so as you can see, this looks kind of like Ninja Gaiden, actually. You know, kind of a classic-ish Ninja Gaiden. How unfortunate for you. And the whole point of this is to go further and further down the tower, killing stuff and collecting items and getting upgrades and things like that. Currently, there's nothing to actually kill, but I'm sure we'll be able to find that momentarily, like over here, for instance. Now, yes, it is a... Oh, no, it is a... I don't even know if this is 16-bit. Like, this is I don't know, it's arguably 8-bit. It may be 16, it's hard to say. It's definitely in that style, but the funny thing is that it does actually play like a classic SNES game. And that's actually a really good thing indeed. A lot of these games that are in the style of 16-bit games don't really play like them. And you could say, oh, well, it's a modern twist. You say, yeah, but half the charm is that they're supposed to play in a very specific way. Like, they're supposed to have very tight controls, gonna have pretty colorful, if kind of basic visuals and things like that, gonna move pretty quickly. And this does remind me of some of the older kind of Castlevania games, Ninja Gaiden, as well as Shinobi. You know, those games there, I'm getting my ass kicked. Good lord. This is not an easy game, by the way, at all. It handles well, though. It's actually a lot of fun. Like, the attacks are nice and quick and satisfying, and I got killed by a pink frog, which is horribly embarrassing. There's a lot of different pickups you can get, ton of upgrades and things like that. You can do sort of wall jumping. I find that a tad awkward, and I think it's probably got something to do with the fact that I'm playing with the keyboard. I think maybe if I'd actually played it with... I killed myself with a bomb, didn't I? I am a dumbass. I think if I'd played it with a joypad, then I would have had a better experience. Note this. Yeah, this is classic. This is based on a lot of different things. I love that. You know, that is a really nice nod to the older style of video game. And this just plays really, really well. It's got classic power-ups, it's got a lot of different interesting spins, and it seems like a lot of replayability, as well as a pretty high skill ceiling. If you kill enough enemies in a row, basically by speedrunning the game and not dying, then you can enter a rage mode, as you saw. I managed to pull it off earlier, which allowed me to unlock some stuff. Obviously, you need to just be a little bit more careful not to suck at the game. There's a lot of secrets and different things hidden here and there. You even have magic, which I'll actually show you momentarily. How the... Well, don't know if that was the best way to do it, but hey, I'll take it. Sweet. Off goes your head. The funny thing about this as well is that if you go too quickly, because you're descending rather than actually ascending, that means that you can't really go back. Like here, for instance, I can go back here, but there are certain situations where I couldn't go back. Like, I don't think I can go any higher than this, from what I can tell. Even double jumping, kind of wall jumping, won't allow me to get that far up, so... That's a pretty interesting idea, because it means that, yeah, while the game encourages speed, you'll also notice there's a timer down at the bottom. God damn it. And it resets every time you lose a life. If you... Oh, I suck at this game, wow. If you let the timer run out, then a giant sort of ghost ninja comes and kills you. So it's an interesting mix, isn't it? Like, it says, oh, you've got to move really, really quickly, but then you also kind of don't, because if you do, you're going to miss a bunch of pickups and all sorts of other things like that. So there's an interesting amount of pacing involved in it. What's this? It's like, I thought there'd be something useful here, but apparently it's just a complete waste of time, bit of a dead end. You know, as it said, the tower is to some degree randomly generated, so I suppose that's understandable. There we go. I will smash that. Can I smash this? Probably. Can I avoid killing myself? Maybe. Am I going to die to the huge space ninja thingy that's about to kill me? Probably, yeah. And then you instantly get killed by the Grim Reaper. This game is cruel, I gotta say. But, you know, so far, from what I've played, I'm actually having a ton of fun with it, surprisingly enough. It's just, it's so old school, it's delicious. Yeah? It's old school in just the right way. And it doesn't fall into the trappings of a lot of these other games where it's like, oh, well, I made a 16-bit or 8-bit style game because I have literally no skill in graphic design, right? That's a very easy way of doing this. But no, this plays like a classic action platformer. It plays like Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden and, to some degree, stuff like Contra, and I get other little vibes from it as well, like kind of Castlevania vibes and ghosts and goblins here and there. This is something, man. This is actually a hell of a lot of fun, surprisingly so. And I'm not usually into the retro-styled stuff, because honestly, the kind of stuff that I played as a kid was mostly on computers. It wasn't actually on... Oh, God. Dick move game. Dick move. It wasn't on things like Super Nintendo, NES, Master System, and things like that. I played a little bit on the Mega Drive, but even then, you know, compared to the upbringing of a lot of gamers these days, I feel like I had a very different experience to them. So I guess it's why I usually can't really appreciate games like this, but in this case, this is actually really enjoyable, surprisingly enough. The controls are pretty tight. I think, you know, the biggest problem I've got God damn it, I'm so bad at it, though. It's like, it's fun, but I really suck. Game over indeed. Alright, I'll have to start from where I start from again. And that was unfortunate. I may have got some unlocks in the process. Looks like I can retry. There you can see I was at floor 250. And then that's where I died, as you can see. Go visit the lodge and see if I can get some more upgrades. Looks like I can. Cool. There's a lot of upgrades as well. Like lots of different kinds of bombs, different kinds of magic, as you can see here. And a bunch of different weapons. I love this randomize option. That's a really cool idea. Cool. I have a timer upgrade, which is going to make things slightly easier. I also have new stuff. Shows location of nearby items. I guess these are all kind of enabled by default. Absorb one hit from any projectile, then it shatters. Shield of the clumsy fallen knight. Let's wear the Pink Panther suit. There we go. Very cool. And then we can continue to play. We can start from there, or we could try let's try trans-dimensional leakage, shall we? Oh, it looks like it's not going to let me do that until I've beaten this lot. So, hey, we'll just go with it. The only problem I've really got with the controls is that arguably the kind of double jumping and the wall jumping is a little bit awkward. You don't really get a lot of time to do it, so doing it with a keyboard can be a little bit fiddly. It also kind of sucks that the game's in 4x3. I mean, you can argue, but ooh, retro. It's like, no, don't make your games in 4x3s. Just stop that. It's like, that doesn't serve any practical purpose at all. That's just annoying, and it makes my filming a hell of a lot more difficult as well, so don't. Up. You know what? I think I can skip the shield for now. As you can see, this is completely different to the last time that I went in here. So the game very much throws curveballs at you by saying, oh, we're just going to completely redo the levels for you. You can't learn the levels. You've just got to not suck, which is going to be a very interesting idea for speedrunners, I think. Plus, of course, if the game really takes off and the user map design stuff starts really doing well, then that could be absolutely fantastic. Let's use our magic to kill this guy. I want to show you magic. Look at that. Isn't that just Golden Axe in a nutshell? Yeah, it really, really is. I love that very, very much. All right, I guess I'm on floor 230 then. You can't jump very high in this game. You really, really can't. There you go. Have some of that. You know you want it. I'm having a surprising amount of fun with this game. And you know what? It's actually kind of a cheap thrill as well. This is a game that I think is less than $5 right now on Steam. And, of course, your regional equivalent of that. I think it's got a metric ton of content, and if you have your doubts, then you can play the Flash version. And obviously, this one's better, and it's got a lot more content and things like that, but it's always nice to be able to try a game out before you buy it. But I'm surprised. I expected this to kind of suck on the basis of, oh, it's another 16 or 8-bit style game, whoopity bloody doo-dah day. That's, I mean, come on. You know, how many of those have we had for a while? We've had quite a few. But this, actually, is really, really fun. Difficult. Seriously difficult. Definitely not a game that is pulling its punches in any way. But it's enjoyable, and it's a really interesting challenge, and it's a satisfying one. And everything about this game feels tight, it feels slick, and it feels like it's a bunch of fun. Which one do I want? I'll take this one. Great, there was nothing. Was there anything in it? Probably not. Oh, God. There we go. This is sort of They Bleed Pixels level of enjoyment, but it's a hell of a lot faster. And it's designed to be fast as well. You can't take too much time in this game. But there's still, you know, a lot of secrets and other crazy things to find, and I appreciate that. The sort of random level generation just kind of puts the icing on the cake of saying, this is a metric ton of really awesome retro-inspired action platforming content for next to nothing. That's a hard package to ignore, in my opinion. This is a really complete experience, and there are times, certainly, when I think, oh, well, you just released your Flash game, and you changed a few things, now you're going to charge for it. Why should I play that version when I can play the free version? Well, it seems like with the amount of new stuff they put in this, it's very much worthwhile. And plus, like, these devs have very clearly made a very cool game here, so I feel that should be supported. So there you go, folks. I'm just going to give you my ringing endorsement for Super House of Dead Ninjas. Very unexpected one, certainly, for a really fun time. If you like action platforming and ninja-y goodness and killing whatever the hell that is, then brilliant. Fantastic. give it a shot. I don't think you're going to be disappointed here. It's a nice, challenging experience. I mean, this is only on normal difficulty, and then it's not with any of the extra towers or user-made levels, so just consider that this could get pretty crazy after a while. Alright, folks, there you go. Super House of Dead Ninjas, currently available on Steam for the low, low price of less than $5. This or a Subway sandwich, and trust me, they're nowhere near as healthy as they claim to be. We'll just kill this dragon with nunchucks. Absolutely wonderful. I will see you next time.